true. That's true. Well, look at that. For $5,000, you can buy that little massage chair. That looks nice. I need it after this. You need to get one of these in here. Just fucking legs, dude. Oh my God.
Get you one just tow behind the car, man.
Dude, the smartest thing I did, I was like, I need to buy a new pair. So being on your feet all day, and so I'm a pharmacist, so I'm on my feet all day, right? My old job, I did have a desk in the back. I was able to sit down a lot, but also now I'm working like 11, 12-hour days, whereas before I was working 8-hour days. So I'm on my feet a lot more. I'm running around, a bunch of new stuff. So I was like, I need a new pair of shoes. Like I was just overdue for a new pair of shoes. I went out and got some real comfy ass shoes. They're called Brooks is the brand. Oh my God.
Oh no, those are comfortable, bro.
Dude, it was worth every penny because, like, yeah, my feet hurt, but if I was wearing my other shoes, my feet would be on fucking fire, dude. I'm like, they're like cushion in them, and I'm like,
I'm pretty sure my dad's got a pair of those, man. I think he likes the Brooks, man. They are comfortable. I tried them on, man. Yeah, like walking on a cloud, bro.
I don't even care that they look like pharmacist shoes. Actually, they're all black, so they just look like black tennis shoes. But
hey,
I don't care,
you, man.
Yeah, please sponsor the show, Brooks. I'll wear them during the stream. Hold them up.
Wheels peels.
Yeah, dude. Oh man. Okay, the New Orleans Saints. Let's get into this. So the Saints last year played in that god awful division, and ended up
be worse this year.
It's true. Ended up 7-10. Tampa Bay ended up winning that division. So yeah, they finished third in the division.
To the finish there.
Yeah. Not a great season, though. I mean, they started off with a small win over Atlanta. Remember, they were in salary cap hell, too. So, I mean, a lot of their guys were gone. They had a skeleton of a roster. But then, yeah, I mean, what can you say? More losing streak. There was never a winning. Oh, no, never mind. They did have a winning streak after the bye. Dude, late bye. God, that sucks. But they did finally get a winning streak after the bye. And I think that's why a lot of people are kind of higher on the team, too. You've got Atlanta. They've ended the season 3-4. I think if they would have beat Carolina there,
they were in the mix there. I think Tampa Bay had to lose, and then they had to beat Carolina, and they would have been.
Both scenarios. Yeah.
So
no, it was the winner. Yeah, the winner of the Carolina Saints game. If Tampa Bay lost, would have won the division. Either way, it was a shitty division.
And Tampa Bay was playing the Falcons that weekend, I think, if I remember.
Yeah, everyone was below 500. Just terrible season. But I mean, I'll get your opinion. What did you think about last season when I pull up some stuff?
I think they found their quarterback. Their franchise quarterback now. I like Derek Carr. Still a lot of questions for me. I'm anxious to see if Michael Thomas can get back on the field and stay healthy. If he does, I think he's up there in the running for comeback player of the year. I think he's got a guy that can distribute the ball to him. You've got Chris Olave down there. Alvin Kamara going to be suspended the first, what they decide, 2 or 3 games? I think he got 3 games for his role in that fight in Las Vegas. Kamara.
2
or 3. 2 or 3. He's going to miss, most of the first month of the season, but he'll be back in plenty of time. Kareem Hunt, saying earlier, Will, while you had to go take a leak, man, Kareem Hunt visited the Saints, said the visit went great. He also has a visit with the Colts. I think the Colts are going to offer him more money, they said, which is kind of weird seeing what Jim Irsay said. But right now it looks like the Colts will be the team to offer him more money, maybe go out there and patch up that Jonathan Taylor debacle. But if he comes down, he could also come to New Orleans and help kind of bridge that gap until Kamara gets back. They got studs on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, this is a team that could take a big, big leap forward versus last year. Dennis Allen, this is second season now. I think now is his second season, not his third. But so they're still implementing his system and all these things. But I think you're going to see the Saints take a pretty good leap forward this year.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest offseason news with them was signing Derek Carr, and they didn't have to give up anything for him, which was nice. So Carr gets a chance to, go. He's got a chip on his shoulder, right?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't like how things ended in Vegas. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they do. I think you're right with the Michael Thomas stuff. Dude, who knows if he's even good anymore? You know what I mean?
I think he is. I think that stuff's still in there. It is. You got to be able to stay healthy. but he's still a freak athlete.
I can't believe he's still in the league because he hasn't played in like 3 years, like meaningful. Like he's played games here,
Well, and
there.
it's because and I think that's part of it. Like everybody's got that. Maybe it's a little bit of hope, maybe it's a little bit of foolishness, but everybody wants to see if he can be that player he was just 2 or 3 years ago, if he can stay healthy. Because I mean, and a lot of the injuries he's had have been like lower body injuries and stuff like that, nagging type injuries, hamstrings and ankles and different stuff like that. You can't go out there and play for, especially a position like wide receiver, stuff like that. So they want to see if they can get him healthy for a whole season. And this is probably the most motivated he'll be, since Drew Brees retired. This is probably the most motivated the Saints are going to be. Probably their best spot. I think they are the favorites to win this division, in my opinion. And I'm a Buccaneers fan.
And remember, they have Jameis Winston as the backup, so he stayed there. So they have a decent backup. They also have Taysom Hill.
I love.
And they got Chris Olave, Michael Thomas.
Man, how could I forget about
Taysom Johnson?
Hill, the ultimate Swiss Army knife.
I know. I mean, they got a solid team, but we're getting a little out of order. But yeah, Derek Carr, Saints news there. Let's go through the draft. Let's
do it. 30th pick in the first round, they select Brian Breezy, the big defensive tackle out of Clemson. This guy's a stud. He's going to be a player in the league for as long as he wants to be, man. He was a stud at Clemson. Had a tough year last year, dealt with some injuries and stuff like that, but he is a dominant run defender, man. He's got strength. He can shed blockers, quick hands, pretty good feet, pretty good footwork. I like Brian Breezy.
I just realized how creepy that looks with that dude's eyes barely showing.
But yeah, I think they did well here, especially with the spot they had to pick in the first round. I think getting Brian Breezy right here is definitely a guy that would have went higher in this draft had he not had the injuries last year and stuff like that. But I think he's going to be a player in this league for a few years. 9th pick in the second round, they get Isaiah Foskey, the defensive end from Notre Dame. So trying to bolster that defensive line right here. This guy is a little high for me on this guy, but he's another player that can be developed. I've seen some raw things out of him. I've seen some bonehead mistakes out of him, but he's a big guy, 6'5", 264, probably a little bit shorter than I'd like him to be for my big-time defensive edge rusher. I'd like to see it more about 6'6", 6'7", right there with that long length, but they obviously are focused on that defensive line. I think they did all right here. 8th pick in the third round, Kendre Miller, the running back from TCU. Another one of those guys that helped the Horned Frogs make a run to that CFP National Championship. He's a guy that can create some mismatches out of the backfield, catching the ball, does a lot of different things, got several different skill sets, got some good speed, got some good, he's a strong guy, can put his nose down and run between tackles if he has to. Not going to be an every down back, but definitely a guy that I feel like they got some value here in the third round. First pick in the fourth round, Nick Saldiveri, offensive tackle from Old Dominion. Don't know, y'all. 25th pick in the fourth round, Jake Hayner, QB from Fresno State. I got to watch this guy a little bit. He's one of those played those late games on the East Coast, or for me on the East Coast, out on the West Coast at Fresno State. But he can sling the pill a little bit. Maybe a guy that can come in and be one of those sneaky, develop into a pretty good backup under a guy like Derek Carr and things like that. 12th pick in the fifth round, Jordan Howden, the safety from Minnesota. And the 18th pick in the sixth round, A.T. Perry, wide receiver from Wake Forest. The guy been down there catching balls from Sam Hartman for a little while. So, didn't have a whole lot of capital in this draft. 2, 4, 6, I guess 7 picks. So, solid. But I'll have to see how some of these guys develop. I like a couple of these picks, but at the same time, I didn't see any earth-changing things here.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
They
nothing. Yeah, they did. I was glancing through Twitter to see if there's any breaking news. Only thing I saw was the Barstool deal.
You already know, man. They're going to wait till 10 a.m. to release all that stuff when we've been off the air.
I know. The thing about the ESPN it does not have to have exclusive betting rights with Penn. Obviously, they'll be more inclined to promote ESPN Bet, but they can still take advertising money from DraftKings and FanDuel. So,
yeah, of course they can. They got the best deal in the business. Shit.
Hell yeah.
They are the brand, though. They are the brand. They built it.
If you build it. Okay. Yeah. I mean,
if you build it, they will come.
Yeah. So I mean, all right, draft. We'll see if anyone
middle of the road. Could have been better, could have been worse.
Yeah.
I would like to see them maybe try to address their offensive guard needs. I know they picked up another tackle there from Old Dominion, but I think they need to focus a little.
Where they were picking at the in the 20s in the draft, a lot of the top, like it was a good lineman draft, and they were all gone. Like you wanted to wait till the second round to try to grab another one at that point. So
yeah, for sure. And obviously, maybe the guys they were looking at were already gone. Whatever. They definitely addressed some of the more pressing needs that they had.
Okay, and then here's some of their free agent moves. Obviously, the big one, Derek Carr. Man, Derek Carr. Imagine getting released from a team and still being able to go and sign a $150 million contract.
Man, some people just live right, man.
Yeah, they do. They do. Let's see. They lost a defensive tackle, Animata David, to Atlanta.
David. Just call it Dave.
Two of their top defensive players went over to state. Remember I was talking about staying in division?
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. These players stay in division, but yeah.
I don't know if it counts if your division's complete garbage, but
still, I mean, they go to Atlanta. Atlanta spending $56 million for those two players. That's interesting. Okay. And another one. Shy Tuttle to Carolina.
Tennessee boy, man. That's one of my balls. Oh, Shy Tuttle. I didn't realize he was still in the league, bro.
Yeah. They brought in a defensive end, Nathan Shepard from the Jets. They lost Marcus Davenport to Minnesota. And then they got a defensive tackle from Kansas City, a tight end from Vegas.
Oh, yeah. Foster Moreau. Derek Carr bringing the tight end over.
Yeah. And then Jamal Williams to the Saints, and then they lost the Red Rifle, Andy Dalton, to Carolina.
The Red Rifle. Shoot your eye out, kid.
Let's see.
Real quick before you move on, Jamal Williams, that's a good pickup, man. Oh, touchdown machine in Detroit last year. So a guy that can help give Alvin Kamara when he comes back some much needed rest in spots. Doesn't that make him have to be an every down back? I like Jamal Williams, always have since his days in Green Bay.
We talk about that. You tell me a 28-year-old running back. We talk about all these running backs not being able to get money when they get older. I mean, 2 years, almost $9 million. You bagged yourself another $9 million. Good for you, Jamal.
Jamal Williams has been doing the damn thing. He's pretty much been a career backup. I always thought he could, given the opportunity, be a starter. Maybe not at this point in his career, but before I thought he could be a starter. He's just playing behind Aaron Jones up there in Green Bay. But Jamal Williams he's doing it the right way, man. He's getting paid.
Mm-hmm. And they signed Turner, so they addressed offensive line guard, signed him from Washington, got him on the cheap. Brought in Lonnie Johnson. Who else?
Lose Marquez Callaway.
Is this Jonathan Abram? Is this the Alabama boy?
That is. Yep. That's the Jonathan Abram. Yeah.
Okay. Damn. I didn't even realize he was on the Seahawks last year. They signed him.
I think he was hurt.
That's probably why. Okay. That's probably why they got him so cheap too.
Yeah.
All right. And I believe I guess I probably should have pulled this up beforehand, but I think
Jarvis Landry
any issues with Cam Johnson. I think they got that squared away. Didn't they extend Cam Johnson?
They didn't. They better.
Who am I thinking? Is it Cam Johnson? No. Who is it? God, who am I thinking of? Cam Jordan. Jordan.
I was like right on tip of the tongue. Yeah, I knew who you were talking about when you said it.
Yeah, let me see. Cam Jordan gets a contract extension from the Saints.
I thought they did. They probably made him a lifetime Saint, man.
Yeah, so he's going to be in New Orleans for life. Let me see. So they make that boy happy. Let's see. He signed
He's earned it though.
Oh yeah. Let's see.
He earned his money. That dude's a freak.
So he signed an extension, 2 extra years. That includes 28 guaranteed. So yeah, he got 2 extra years and $28 extra million guaranteed to his contract.
Just 28 million extra. That's all. Hell, that's what Donald Trump bought the New Jersey Generals for.
Exactly. That comes after Jesus. So he has entry-level contract when he got drafted in 2011. God, he's been around for a while. 4 years, $7 million. Right. Then he signed a 5-year, $55 million deal. Then a 3-year, $52 million deal. And then now this extension, extra 2 years, $28 million. He is living good.
Smart, man. He's smart. He signed these 2-3-year contracts and just played at a high level, earning his money, and they keep paying that man. Like it's rare to
they're
see.
Smart. They're smart to do it too.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, 2011. Hell, as an edge rusher that's having to go balls to the wall like that, that's an eternity in the league, man.
He's made over $130 million just in contracts.
Man, that don't even count endorsements and things like that. Cam
He
Jordan
didn't
done
even
it the
need
right
he didn't
way.
even need the mega millions. You know what I mean? He didn't need it.
No, man, I bet he didn't even buy a ticket.
I wouldn't go there. When the mega millions, you can start talking about buying part of a team.
I started to say, you wouldn't mega millions. I'll be like, hell, y'all could just like pay me $4 this season and use that cap space for somebody else.
All right. So, yeah, here's their depth chart going into the season. We were talking about it a little bit. So, Derek Carr, Alvin Kamara, but you got Jamal Williams in there, and they got some of those draft picks. Jameis Winston is backup QB there. Taysom Hill. Chris Olave, he was a rookie last year, right?
Yes.
So
he's issues for a little bit there. So,
but he had a hell of a season too. I mean,
he's a stud, man. He's just another one of those Ohio State purebred wide receivers, man. He is a stud.
You got Michael Thomas. We'll see what he can do. Rashad Shaheed, James Washington. That's not a bad guy to have in backup back there, but they're carrying 2 fullbacks. Look at that. Love to see it.
2 fullbacks. Wait, carrying 2 fullbacks and you still got Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
Taysom Hill.
And then here's their defense. I forgot Honey Badger's on their team.
I bet Taysom Hill was hell at punt, pass, and kick competitions.
Is Marshawn Lattimore healthy now still? I guess there's no okay. So
he's good to go. Yeah, he got banged up a little bit toward the back end of last season, I think. But yeah, no, he wasn't anything serious.
They should. So it looks like they should have a solid defense.
That's what I'm saying, man. The pieces, I started looking at this roster throughout, looking at some of the backups. You always got to look at the backups too, man, in case injuries happen. They're going to happen in the NFL. So you got to look who's able to step up and next man up mentality there. And they got a lot of guys that can step in and fill holes if they were to deal with some injuries like they have the last couple of years. But there's a lot of pieces in place for the Saints to have a real good year.
Hey, I was going to ask you, as we're getting to the schedule here, Tennessee reminded me, have you talked to when's Cody getting back?
It's probably going to be toward the end of the week.
Okay.
We'll see. I'll talk to him. I'll hit him up here in a little bit and find out. And if not,
well, I was going to say, if we want to do a night show instead, if that works for him, kind of like, you know how we recorded last night, we could just do the show at night, maybe take the next morning off or something like that.
We may do that. That'd be it's a lot easier to get Cody in the evening than in the morning. So especially with him getting back from Vegas and all that, you know how Vegas is. But yeah, I'll hit him up a little bit and find out, and we'll.
Yeah, I mean, if he's able to do it from there, and we can do it at night, I don't know what his situation is there, but
and we can do the same thing with Ryan or Beardo. You know, it's
yeah. I didn't expect any
in the morning or earlier, depending on where you're at. But
I didn't expect any of our guests to come on. I fully expected to rearrange the schedule because not everyone's crazy enough to get up at 5 a.m. to be on a sports show like me.
No. It's all good. We understand. I mean, we can readjust a little bit. Your schedule's a lot tougher.
I only do this because I only get up at 4 a.m. to do this damn shows because that's the only time I get a chance to do it.
That's what I'm saying. We're the ones that kind of mold around your schedule, man. You're a busy man.
Yeah, but every once in a while, if I'm like, hey, I need to do a show tonight, that will be fine. But I couldn't do a show every single night because she would be pissed.
I'm sure. Yeah, you still got to be a hubby too, man.
I know. She's like, you never want to hang out with me.
It's like, babe, just come sit. That's what I tell my girlfriend. I'm like, baby, you can come in here and sit with me while I record. She's like, yeah, that's what I want to do. Come in there and stare at you while you're talking about sports.
I go, you want to hang out? You could tune in and hop into the chat and watch the show. She's like, no.
We'll just let them exchange numbers. They can talk and meme and text back and forth. Talk about Vanderpump and stuff.
God. Oh, and the next few days, I'm gonna plug this as well for everyone. And remind me to do this throughout the show. I'll be doing it multiple times because I know we have people coming in and out all the time. Sunday, we're gonna have a special show, probably around noon-ish Pacific time, noon 30
Eastern,
3 Eastern, 3:30 Eastern. We'll see. It's my birthday. So we're going to do a special birthday stream. We'll just talk about whatever. I'm going to be cracking Coors Lights. I got to move the next day, so I should have all my shit packed up and whatnot, but I'll be everything set back up there. And we're just going to have a fun show and hopefully have some fun guests on. So we'll see. I guarantee this. It's going to be a silly fun time. All right. And we'll have some preseason football going on at the time too. So
I might have to get me a little something to sip on for that one, man.
Oh yeah, we're just laid back, casual. We'll talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about.
Yeah, I like it. But yeah, check with Ryan and Beardo too. If they need to do, if they going back to what we were talking about, if they need to do night streams too, because we're getting out of the nitty gritty, man. We run out of teams here.
I know. I'll reach back out to both of them as well, see if we can get them on. Earth Ending. I'm waiting to get set up in my new place. So like next week is when I'm gonna be like, hey, okay, guys, you guys ready to come on now? Because
we'll be doing 6 shows a day, man.
Yeah, I'm surprised the internet's worked out pretty well here. So I mean, I guess
we're real good at that first day was a little tough, but after that, man, it's doing fine.
Yeah, Earth Ending says, "Shit, I'm tending chickens 2 a.m. your time, brother."
That's right, man. You must be over around me then. You up at 5 a.m. with the chickens, man.
Whew. I am not. I'm trying to get my ass out of bed. That alarm goes off at 4:30, and I'm like, okay, let's go.
I get it, man. It's like I said, I can't lie to you. If you were like, hey, man, I need to do a morning show, 5:15 Eastern, I'd be like, I don't know about that, man. 8:15, I can handle 8:15. 5:15, that's inspired, man.
And the earliest I'm gonna
go to your actual job after this. This is my job.
I know. I gotta go to my dude starting next week. Literally right as we're done, I'll probably be wearing whatever I'm gonna wear to work for the shows, because I literally, once we're done, I gotta walk out the door and drive an hour to work.
Yeah, man, you gotta put the white coat on, man. The uncensored pharmacy.
Fuck no, I don't ever wear a white coat. Whoever came up with the idea of pharmacists wearing white coats was the dumbest thing ever. The only thing they're good for is like pockets, so you can put shit in it. Other than that, it is way too damn hot to wear a goddamn white coat. Everywhere I've worked, I had not to wear a white coat, and I try to my best avoid it. There's places like, the chain stores, stuff like that, they make them wear. Oh my God, dude. It sucks. I sweat enough already, dude. I don't need a goddamn coat on there too.
You feel about those white coats the way I feel about those Florida Gators.
Yeah, dude. I hate those motherfuckers. I hate them.
I don't. I love that you got right what I was saying right there, man. Fuck white coats and the Florida Gators.
Exactly. Dude, I had a lady yesterday, so I was doing a transfer, and there's people that are real fucking by the book on every little thing, but this one just pissed me off because so she was like doing a transfer and she did a verbal, which I also hate verbal transfers because which means that like she tells me all the information about it and I have to write it down. I hate it because not because I don't want to. One, I actually hate taking the time to do all that because it takes forever. But two, it's just better if she faxes me the actual information, because then there's less chance of like there being an error. You know what I mean? Because you had the human to human interaction. There could be an error missing or something, right? So anyway, she's giving me a verbal. And she goes, okay, and she works for like one of these corporations, these mailing corporations. So she's got to do all these things by the book, right? And she goes, yeah, so could you read back the drug and directions and stuff like that to me that I just told you? So we, like a confirmation. I'm like, yes. So I'm reading it back to her and I go, yeah, okay. And then it says, yeah, and then take 2 tablets by mouth daily, right? Okay. 2 tablets by mouth daily. She goes, actually, it says take 2 tablets by mouth once daily. I'm like,
that's the same thing.
It's the same goddamn thing.
Yeah, tomato.
Yeah, I go.
This is the problem. Some people are too good at their jobs, man. To a detriment to themselves.
Argued she's not good at her job. That is not being good at her. That is being
she's trying to do it by the book, but it's a detriment because you said the same shit in less time and had to put less effort into it.
Mm-hmm. I'm just like, and it's those people. I went to school with those kind of people, and I'm like, yeah, this is why you would never survive out here.
This is also
in the community. This is why you're working there.
Yeah, this is also why I don't want to speak to you any other time than while we're at work. I have nothing to say to you if that's how your mentality is.
Oh man, I'm the guy that like listen. And I guess it's a state law here. It wasn't in Washington, but I guess here, like when I answer the phone, I go, hey, it's Will. How can I help you? You know what I mean? Like I just want people to know it's Will, right? You're gonna know me by Will. And they're like, you actually have to state that you're a pharmacist. I go, what? Yeah, you got to go say pharmacist Will speaking. And
that's why I'm answering the phone in a pharmacy, because I'm a pharmacist.
Well, because no, they're saying that.
You could be talking to, I guess, like
you could be talking to a technician or an assistant.
Yeah,
like the patients need to know who they're talking to. I'm like,
I mean, don't they have like press 3 to talk to a pharmacist or something? So like,
no, you can talk to the pharmacy, and then they eventually bring it over to the
Okay.
pharmacist.
Okay. Fair enough. But
Listen, it's going to probably be one of those things that I stop doing and I just go back to saying will, and I'm the boss, and that's the perk to being the boss.
she gonna just start calling you just to check and see. But I don't know. I guess I could see that. I can handle
I
that.
can see that, but
a
I
little
mean,
bit
the whole
more
point, like
than leaving
getting
the
yourself.
word once out. I can handle her making you state you're a pharmacist better than I can handle the first thing she said to you.
My problem is when people do that, they I have no problem saying, okay, hey, pharmacist will, whatever. Like, there's people that'll be like, that really, like, they just are putting in your face that, oh, I'm a pharmacist. And I never want to come across like that. Like, I'm better than you or anything like that. I'm just a fucking pharmacist, dude. This is what I do. You ask me questions, whatever. But the way that people say it, like, this is so-and-so pharmacist speaking. And I'm like they get into it, like they want to let you know that they're a pharmacist.
Yeah.
That's just fucking stupid.
Yeah, that's probably the thing when you yell at first. Thanks for calling Will's Pills. How can I suit your fancy?
If you guys haven't realized yet, I'm pretty laid back in what I do. I have one mission: get shit done. I don't care how it gets done. I don't care what you do to get it done. As long as you get it done, I'm good with it. I don't care if you're listening to music doing your work. I don't give a shit as long as it gets done. If it becomes a problem, then we're going to address it. But get shit done. I'm laid back, relaxed. Let's get this shit done.
You're doing your job.
Yeah.
And shit's like, come on, man. Let's just get it done. You're a man that gets shit done. You ain't got a lot of spare time. You got to maximize the amount of time you have. So just get it done.
That's what I love. That's what I love about this job now, is because my old job, I love my old job. It was great and whatnot, but there's still tensions. There's still people above me, and there's still people that get annoyed at certain things, right? Now I'm just like, all day they're like, hey, you're the boss. So how do you want to do this? I'm like, exactly. This is how we're going to do it.
I am the fucking boss. That's right. At least y'all get it. All right, we digress, man. We should probably limp back toward the Saints here.
Yeah, all right. You never know what you're gonna get on this show, right? You never know. But hey, people seem to be liking it. We got 16 watching over on Rumble right now. What up? Smash that like button or that thumbs up button.
Yeah, welcome.
Hey, we are on the live section too. Look at that live section of Rumble. Let's go. Okay. So they open up against Tennessee. Cody's Tennessee Titans. Tennessee's got to be 14-point dogs in this one.
Saints. Do you want to really fire a guess out there, or
yeah. Saints 5-point favorites.
Saints -3 at home against the Titans, -165 on the money line. Titans are +130.
Third inning, I'm way too realistic to work with the public.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Sometimes, some fucking times, man. I'm just like, what? I had a guy yesterday ask me, he goes, did that son of a bitch doctor send in my refill yet? And I looked at it and I'm like,
sounds like that's something between you and your doctor.
He goes, he needed a blood thinner medication, right? And I'm like, no, he hasn't got back to us yet. I can fax him again. He goes, yeah, when you fax him, tell that son of a bitch, if I clot out, he's gonna clot out too.
I'm gonna come back and haunt that motherfucker. Yeah. See, if I'm having to call my doctor a son of a bitch, I probably want to reevaluate who my doctor is.
I'm just like, sir, that doesn't make, in my mind, I'm like, sir, that doesn't make any sense. Like, how is he gonna how are you gonna do that?
Yeah,
you just clot it out.
I put it in quotes. If he clots out, you also will clot out. So please, for all things holy, call the blood thinner in. So he doesn't die and we have to worry about somebody picking up his medication for him.
I know, dude. And then he goes, I'm sorry. I'm like, hey, I get it, man. I get it.
I'm sorry, not to that son of a bitch doctor, but to you, Will.
I go, I'll send the fax either way. I'm gonna probably leave out a few of those words, but
by the way, Will, you should let people know you're a pharmacist when I call.
God. All right. We have going to Carolina. Saints 1-point favorite.
Bingo. Saints -1 at the Panthers. -115 on the money line. Panthers are -105.
Okay, at Green Bay. This is gonna be interesting. Green Bay 2-point favorites.
Saints +1 at Lambeau, -102 on the money line. Packers are -118.
Home against your Buccaneers. Saints 4.5-point favorites.
Saints -5.5 at home against my hapless Bucks. -230 on the money line. Buccaneers +190.
You hear of all the interceptions that are going on in Tampa Bay in practice? Yesterday, Kyle Trask and Baker combined for 5 interceptions in practice.
I'm serious. I'm to the point where I've chalked up the 2023 season. We'll get to my Buccaneers in a day or two. I've chalked that one up. I'm going to be probably pissed off every game we win this year. because I'm totally in that Caleb Williams, Drake May sweepstakes. We don't have to get the number 1 overall. Just get to at least 2, boys. That's
Just
all
give
I
me
need.
one of those. Give me one of
Just get to at least 2.
And you'll be good too if Arizona ends up having they'll probably trade it. I think they should. If they had the number 1 overall, they should take Caleb Williams, but we'll see.
I think they should too. I think Kyler Murray is not going to be anyway. We digress.
I think with the rookie contracts now, you can afford to have that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's kind of the way to do it. If you get a guy, you're probably going to have a year or two of growth there, but if you can get those next 3 years at a discounted rate, it allows you to build that team around them much more because you got so much more cap room. So yeah, those rookie deals for QBs are huge, especially what the QBs are making these days.
At my New England Patriots, New England 3-point favorites.
Hook got him again. Saints plus 2.5 at the Pats, plus 120 on the money line. Patriots minus 142.
The disrespect.
Then
they got to go to Houston. That's going to be a fun game, I think, down in Houston. Saints 2-point favorites in Houston.
I think a lot of these Texans games are going to be sneakily exciting, man. Saints minus 3 at the Texans, minus 148 on the money line. Texans plus 124.
They got a Thursday night football game against Jacksonville, home against Jacksonville. That's going to be a good one. I'm going to say pick them.
Close. Saints minus 1 at home against the Jaguars, minus 115 on the money line. Jags minus 105.
And they got to go up to heavy steps' Colts. Saints 2.5-point favorites.
Saints minus 1.5 at Indianapolis, minus 122 on the money line. Colts plus 102.
And home against Ryan's Chicago Bears. Saints 3.5-point favorites.
Saints minus 2.5 at home against the Bears, minus 148 on the money line. Bears plus 124.
And they got to go to Minnesota. Minnesota should be a 1.5-point favorite. Split the difference.
You were getting closer. Saints plus 2.5 at the Vikings, plus 110 on the money line. Vikings minus 130.
And then a solid bye week 11. Love to see that. Then they got to go at Atlanta. Saints 1-point favorite.
Look at him. There he is. Welcome back. Saints minus 1 at the Falcons, minus 110. Both teams are minus 110 on the money line.
All right. And then home against Detroit. This one's going to be a good one. God, where's the market at with Detroit? I think they're still high on Detroit. God, this has got to be Detroit favored by 1.
This game could either be the best game of the year or the worst game of the year. Saints minus 1 at home against the Lions, minus 112 on the money line. Lions minus 108.
Okay. That's good to know that they see Detroit just slightly better than the Saints. Okay. The home against Carolina. Saints 3.5-point favorite in that one.
There he is. Saints minus 3.5 at home against the Panthers, minus 180 on the money line. Panthers plus 150.
And home against the New York Giants. Saints minus 2.5.
2 in a row. Saints minus 2.5 at home against the Giants, minus 130 on the money line. Giants plus 110.
Then Thursday night football out in LA right before Christmas. It's Christmas in LA. Saints 2.5-point favorites.
Saints minus 1 at the Rams, minus 118 on the money line. Rams are minus 102.
They go from good weather to good weather back to back. I mean, New Year's Eve out in Florida, Tampa Bay, Saints 3-point favorites.
Saints minus 1.5 at the Buccaneers, minus 122 on the money line. Bucks plus 102.
I might bet that now.
You should bet all the Buccaneers games now.
Minus 1.5.
Not on the Buccaneers.
Minus 1.5. I mean, that's not staying that way.
No. You
can get them under a field goal. They're going to be over a field goal. Come.
Absolutely. That actually is a good one to probably bet. You should probably look at any Tampa Bay game, not just Tampa Bay, Arizona. The teams we think are going to be trash. Any game that you can get the opposing team under a field goal against these teams right now, you might want to go ahead and start jumping on those things because those lines are going to go way up.
Mm-hmm. And then home against Atlanta to end the season. Saints 4.5-point favorites.
Saints minus 2.5 at home against the Falcons, minus 148 on the money line. Falcons plus 124.
Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about. One of the things we'll talk about on Sunday. I just want to kind of start looking at just casually looking at week 1 and just kind of, looking at the lines, the odds.
We'll do NFL and college football for that.
Yeah, we'll do whatever. Any sports news. We'll just crushing beers and having a good time. And then,
right.
And then also, kind of getting an idea of talking about any fantasy stuff that we have coming up, but also the super contest that we're going to enter into. So I got to get all that stuff lined up. Remember that show I was telling you about that we do on Saturdays that I invited you to come on with me and the guys from Patriot Sports Radio, where we do, and we enter into a super contest and we lay out our picks and we try to find the 5 best picks.
Oh yeah.
We'll start talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to get in on that, man. I love
Yeah, you're in. You're already in. I locked you in.
My man.
Yeah. What we do every Saturday morning, bright and early, kind of like we do with this show. We call it the Super Football Podcast. We go over, so each of us will pick our 5 best picks that we would enter into the contest. And then so we see everyone's side and we rank them from our most confident to our least confident. And then at the end, after we've talked all them out, then we go through and pick our 5 picks and submit them.
Okay.
So yeah, it's gonna be good.
I like that. Yeah.
Here's a little preview.
This is the Football Super Podcast.
In the end zone, it is caught for the win.
A Patriot Sports Radio and Game On podcast collaboration.
Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler.
Picking the NFL spreads week by week.
Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable!
And now, here are your hosts, Eric, Chris, and Will.
Okay, yeah, I like that, man.
Yeah, we're gonna have to crop you in there.
Hey.
or have Chris make a new one.
Hey, it's y'all's world, man. I just live in it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. So we'll talk some of that. We'll get into all that. Now we need to go to team wins. Regular season team wins. The New Orleans Saints. Ooh. In a division where no one got 9 wins last year, now the Saints are expected to get 9. Over under 9. 9 is minus 135. I'm having deja vu from what was the LSU Tigers yesterday.
Well, it's funny you say that because on DraftKings they are at 9.5, just like that game we talked about.
And it's in Louisiana. Both are in Louisiana.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Just down the road, man. Juice to the under, minus 125, under 9.5, plus 105 over 9.5. That is on DraftKings.
What did I say yesterday? Same thing applies here. If you like the over, you bet the over at the 9 and you wait to hedge your way into it or out of it.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. All right. It seems reasonable. With that schedule, it seems reasonable.
Like we talked about last night on that stream, man, you got to, when you're putting your futures bet, your preseason futures and stuff like that, you got to, when you're making those picks, look at things that are going to give you opportunities to hedge out of those and guarantee a profit. Make sure and do that. And it's about
not hedging. It's called guaranteeing a win.
That's right. It's great to win the big ones, the plus 2,500 and all. That's wonderful. But if I win 20 minus 110s, that's the same amount of money, man. So you don't have to win a lot at once. It's nice to
do. One thing that you'd be looking at too. So like I was saying, you want to try, if you, like I said last night, obviously that hasn't, I don't think you've released that yet. If you can find a chance, if you can find a chance to hedge out of a bet, but also have a chance to middle, then you're winning in sports betting world. So what I would be looking for here, and unfortunately it's not going to happen for the Saints in this one, but you would be betting the 9, and then you would be hoping that the Saints would have 9 wins and then the 10 for you to cash your ticket. If it hit 9, you're going to push. What you're hoping for is towards the end of the season that the Saints down here are going to have, and it still could happen because we don't know how bad the Saints are going to be, but if they're bad, they probably don't have 9 wins towards the end of the season. But if they're at that 9th win, you would be looking down here to take the points with the Saints. You know what I mean? Or actually, no, it actually does work in your favor. Never mind, I'm working this backwards. They're going to be favored here. So what you would be doing, let's say they have 9 wins going to this Tampa Bay game. Let's say you can get Tampa Bay plus 3.5 come, week 17. You take that 3.5, you hedge out in case Tampa somehow beats the Saints. If not, the Saints win it. They get their 10th win. You cash your ticket. But if that game lands 3 or less, you win both tickets. Yeah.
You get to where you
got to be looking for.
Find yourself in scenarios where your bad beat may still be guaranteeing you a profit. You might have a chance where you might win 10 units or you might win 3 units, and you might only wind up winning 3, but the key word there is you won and you grew your account some. So gotta have that day trading mentality, man. Sometimes small investments for small returns. over time will build into something.
Yeah, I traded one day. I sure did. There was one day I traded.
One day. Just one.
All right, let's go to the division. Let's see. Should be favored to win their division. The New Orleans Saints plus 125. Man, that actually seems like some good value there. What do you think?
I mean, they're definitely my clear favorite. I think that they should. I think they should probably. You should probably have to lay money on them in this division.
That's what I'm saying. If you can get them at plus money at this point,
they're the only team in this division. I mean, I know Bryce Young's in Carolina now, number 1 overall pick. You got Desmond Ridder, who's in his second season, gonna be his first season as a starter in Atlanta, and you got the clusterfuck that is my Tampa Bay Buccaneers down there between Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask. So the only team with a proven quarterback in this division is the Saints. And if I got in the NFL, if I'm the only team in the division with a proven quarterback that I know can go out there and get it done for me, I feel like you should definitely have to lay money right here. I think it should be probably more about minus 140, minus 150, honestly, in this spot. So I think there's some value there on the Saints at plus money.
I think I actually might bet this today. Just because I don't think the Falcons have a chance in hell of winning this. I know they're the second favorite by a good chunk, but it's the Falcons, man.
Unless Desmond Ridder just comes out and takes 5 steps up from last year.
Even then, I like the Saints in both games against the Falcons. You know, I think they're gonna beat them. I'd rather have Derek Carr in that offense.
This is one of those divisions, especially those Saints Falcons. They always play close, man. So if you can ever get one of those, usually above a field goal, I'm usually going to take the points. Probably in this division, that's probably a good bet all year long in this thing. If you can get either team with more than a field goal, getting more than a field goal, I think that's going to be a good bet.
And I don't believe in Carolina. I mean, yeah, they've got the pieces, but new coach, new system, rookie quarterback's got to learn it. And you got to remember too, you got a small quarterback, so that's going to take them some time to get used to things there. Yeah. So I don't think the Panthers are going to be a threat at all. So I think the Saints plus 125 seems like a good deal to me.
Yeah, they're clearly going to be an adjustment period there for Bryce Young. And I don't know that, like I said, Kyle Trask or Baker Mayfield are able to adjust. And I don't know if it's in Desmond Ridder either. So I'll go with
Derek Carr.
Yeah, I'll go with the guy that's had, 9 straight seasons with 4,000 yards or something.
Mm-hmm. And here's a prime betting example. So Saints to make the playoffs, you have to lay minus 175. Listen, there's only one way the Saints make the playoffs is if they win the division. Because there's no one else in that division that's going to be – we're not going to have 2 10-plus win teams out of this division. It's not going to happen.
Not happening.
So take the 120 plus 125. Don't lay the minus 175 because they're not going to be a wild card team.
Absolutely. And people get kind of caught up in that sometimes. You're like, oh, it's easier for them to make the playoffs than it is to win the division. Unless the division is garbage, and the only way they're making the playoffs is to win that division. So if you're getting that plus money, like Will said, man, take that plus money.
Just a little tip. We're trying to help the people out. Oh, I want to see this. Do they have the stage of elimination on here? Let's see. So if you're really high on the Saints, now listen, we think the Saints let's see. So they make the playoffs because they win the division. So they're going to be hosting a playoff game.
Could be a tough host. Could be maybe that second place team out of the NFC East, the Eagles or the Cowboys. One of them is going to have to travel in round 1, so it could be one of those.
But you could look at this, to lose in the divisional round. So that means they would have won the wild card round. So that basically you're saying they're going to win that wild card game. You can get plus 350 on that. And then I know what you're saying. Well, they technically could win the divisional round and go to the conference championship. Yeah, but at that point you could hedge out.
Well, if I was going to bet them to win the division, I'd definitely go ahead and put a little bit on that plus 350 to lose in the divisional round too. Because like you said, you're going to get that wild card game at home. But yeah, I know I like both of those. If I'm going to bet them to win the division, I would also sprinkle a little bit on that to lose in the divisional round because at 3.5 to 1, that's pretty good value.
Also, yeah, to lose in the wild card round, think about that. That means that if they get to the wild card round, they're hosting a game. But like you said, they could be playing the Cowboys or the Eagles.
Yeah.
So think about that. I know that they're that good, but I don't think the Saints at home would be a plus 240 underdog.
Or even,
what I mean?
Even a team like, I think San Francisco is going to win the West, but a team like Seattle is going to be kind of strong. You look at the team, out of that NFC North, either the Lions or the Vikings, whoever they host in that wild card game, it's going to be a tough matchup for them.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things here. Earth Ending says, damn, nice advice, Cricket. Twice in one show. Joking. I'm betting your MLB parlay. Dude, bet that at your own risk, man.
I was going to say, you should bet it, but as long as you take the advice and bet it the other way. Like I said, guys, I've gone 2 out of 3 days in a row. This don't happen much. The wheel's about to fall off somewhere.
Yeah, and let's see. Their odds to win the conference 14-1 to go to the Super Bowl.
Not enough for me. Got to have 25-1 or better. And I don't think I'd even bet it then. I'd really probably have to have 40-1 or better to even want to sprinkle a quarter unit on it.
And the Saints to hold up the trophy at the end of the season 50-1. That's actually decent.
Yeah, 50-1 is worth a good little sweat, man. You get you 4 of those quarter units sprinkled up to that full unit there, y'all at 40 to 50-1 or better. It's a good sweat anyway.
Let's see. Let's say Derek Carr has a breakout year. Holy cow. Derek Carr MVP plus 8,000.
I tell you what, if
80-1?
If that might not be bad.
There's a storyline there too, because of him leaving Vegas. And
like we said, man, he became the first player in NFL history to throw for over 4,000 yards in his first 9 seasons in the league.
I mean,
if they're
going to have the weapons,
if they can wind up getting 12, maybe.
I was going to say 12 wins. If they win the division, 12 wins.
In the combo, man, at 80-1.
He throws 5,000 yards.
I mean, you got to be. Hell, you put
35 plus touchdowns.
800.
That's what I'm saying. I might do that today.
Yeah, 10 to win 800. That's a good sweat no matter what, man. As long as he don't just come out and just play like a bum the first month of the season and still give himself a shot at it. He can play mediocre for the first month or 2 of the season. And then if he goes on a tear toward the end and gets them boys in contention, hey, why not?
And once again, you don't even need him to win it. You just need him up there at the top.
That's right.
Then you've got 80-1, and then he'll be up at the top at like 4-1. You've got great value, and then now you can start snagging some of those other guys that are at the top with him.
Absolutely. I like it, man. I like it. Derek Carr for president.
Earth Ending says his advice to you about your parlays. He says, you can drive a car on every other lug nut.
Touche. My man.
Oh man! All right. Any other odds you want to look at before you give us your pick?
No, sir. I believe that's. I got the one pulled up. The one I was going to ask you about, but I actually have two props for this one. One is a pretty big long shot there, but the one prop I like is Derek Carr 4,500 plus pass yards and Chris Olave 1,250 plus receiving yards. This is regular season now. You can get that at plus 450 right now, so 4.5 to 1. But I think my new favorite bet on the Saints is going to be Michael Thomas, comeback player of the year at plus 6,500. 65 to 1, Michael Thomas, comeback player of the year.
Now we know that if he just plays a decent portion of the year, DeMar Hamlin's going to win this, right?
He should. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of anxious to see how that's going to play out. I love the DeMar Hamlin story, pulling for that guy and all that stuff. But I think it's kind of unfair to all these other guys in the league to go ahead and just guarantee you're going to give that guy. I understand he's had to come back from a lot and all that stuff, but if he doesn't go out there and play,
not even on here,
you still got to have a good season, man.
I kind of like this one. It's not on here on BetOnline, so you have to go get that at DraftKings. Breece Hall 66 to 1.
I don't think he's gonna get enough volume. They're gonna throw the ball too much, man. And he's got to stay healthy too.
Keep an eye on Breece Hall right there. I mean,
I don't hate it.
Put that in your pocket.
Plenty of value there. Hell, that's as good a pick as Michael Thomas. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like that's why they call it gambling, man. Not winning.
That's why they call it gambling, baby. All right, we got to hurry up. I gotta get to work in 40 minutes. It's all the way down 2 blocks away from me. All right, so that's our coverage of the New Orleans Saints. I think I found some bets I like that I am going to place today. I need to go through and do that.
Wait, you bet? You gamble?
I invest.
God, I love it. Man knows how to talk. That's why he's the boss, folks.